Greetings, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of the Reicher podcast.
Yeah, thank you for all of your support on the last podcast. That went down a treat.
And went down quite literally, unfortunately. Our manager, Clockreicher German, he was not happy with the response by a particular person, which I think for the foreseeable podcast, we should either rename to something anonymous or just don't mention him by name at all.
I think we should call him the Italian scoundrel.
The Italian scoundrel. That's pretty vague. So anyway, today's episode, due to various inconsistencies with arguments, slander, I think we need to bring in a professional lawyer, which we have in our set. And I think we need to not only educate this particular individual, but educate the world on the law involved in defamation of character.
Definitely. And he's here today. It's Derek Darvinson.
You can look him up. He has a legal license. You can find that on Google quite easily by searching his name.
Okay, so shall we bring in the also Lance Anderson is here, who's our producer, who actually got into a conversation with Kelvin and how all of this kind of out of control.
Exactly. The thing is, I mean, minor confusion, but we're just the hosts. Lance Anderson is our producer and, in a sense, showrunner. He does a lot, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's always behind the camera kind of guy.
Exactly. He's the kind of guy that, he's our go-to kind of guy. Yeah. And so, obviously, with the Italian scoundrel, with what Mr. Scoundrel had to say, unfortunately, we had to clarify a few things with Lance, who was a little bit hurt about having all this pressure piled upon him when we don't think he's really done anything wrong.
No, I mean, he literally is just the messenger. It's not his podcast. He just produces it. So
exactly.
It is our podcast. You get it.
And we can say that because it's not defaming you.
No, as Derek will state further on. We're not going to do it for him, but he's going to do it himself.
And bear in mind, he has a law degree.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So is he still outside the studio, or?
Yeah, shall I go and get him in? Shall I bring them both in, actually, and then we'll just go and get a coffee for 5 minutes while they have a chat?
I think that's pretty fair. So we'll intro them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, right, okay. Hello, Derek. Hi there. Just take a seat there, Derek. Okay. And Lance Anderson's here as well.
Hello, you folks.
So I guess we'll just shoot off then.
Yeah, let's leave you guys to it. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, I've got no problems with that.
Okay, Lance, do you want me to run over the basics on this thing, or do you want to tell me first? Just quickly brief me what actually happened.
Basically, what I've done. Well, in fact, just a quick plug for my channel. It's called Lance Movie Reviews and that. And what I do on there is I talk about the films that are new and the films and who's in the films and whether I like the films. And so anyway, so this man, who I won't name for obvious reason, basically he was a little bit rude about me. Like he he does some sort of show and that, and he was sort of like saying things with me. He's got a picture of me on there sipping my cup of milk, and I just thought it was a bit mean. But I'm the bigger man. Like, I'm a pretty big man, as you can already tell.
Yes.
So what I do is do what my gran said to me. Rise above it, Lance.
So what has he actually accused you of?
Well, basically he thinks or thought that I was one of the hosts, right? And basically they were just sort of saying he was like this and he was a bit like this and that, and his film was shit. Now, in my estimatory opinion, basically, if you put something out there, like if I made a film, which I haven't, but if I had, I'd be like, put the film out there and that, and basically, if old Joe Blog Simpkins comes over and he's like, shit, and I'm just like, I made it, I'm proud of it, who gives a fuck what you think, then I don't really care, but because the host said that the movie was a bit shit in that, and they sort of like laughed at what was going on because it's pretty bad, that's apparently slander, and I want you to basically clarify all of this and that, and how basically sort of calling him names and that, like in a school playground, isn't slander against the law.
Absolutely. So basically, this Mr. Calverstone it's very unfortunate because you haven't actually broken any laws. His I don't know what you really call it. It's not really a film. It's
about 20 minutes, so I don't think that counts as like a proper movie.
Is open to review from any third party looking to review it. Otherwise, if that was illegal, then all of these big Hollywood films would be suing all of these independent reviewers. And I think he's seriously just mistaken slander for a matter of opinion, which it actually states here in one of my old law school books. I've got the page up now. Opinion, even if it appears slanderous, is not illegal in the eyes of the U.S. law, and therefore cannot be brought into the court of law due to the First Amendment, freedom of speech, where opinion is not libel. So, I mean, I think it's just an easy mistake to make if you guys were laying into him. But unfortunately for him, if he seeks a lawyer, he's going to be very disappointed with what the lawyer says to him.
So basically, I've done that wrong and that, but he's just a bit upset because he didn't like what was said.
Yeah, he's just having a little bitch moment here. He should be he should be okay in the next couple of days.
Oh, that's good to hear, because basically he called me names as well. He said I was a bit of a prick and that I don't have any brains and stuff like that. Like I said, I'm a pretty big man. I'm a really big man, and he says I was like one of what's it called?
Yeah,
pussy and that. And I'm not, because my face is all over the internet. You can see me drinking my cups of milk, calcium and that, strong and that, and he calls me out, like, and I didn't call him out and that. I messaged him on the Facebook. Couldn't find his video on that, and he got a bit mean with me and that.
Well, unfortunately for Mr. who probably is on welfare. He's probably just looking for a big payout, and unfortunately his
he said that. He said that. He said he's going to get money off of me. Like, I don't have any. Yeah. Like, what damage have I done, really? None.
That's definitely because he's not earning.
And I apologised in that, which he turned around and said, "You've already made a mistake." And it's like, it's not a test, is it, sir? I've not done out wrong.
And plus, if he put this case up in front of a... Well, if he pressed charges, then the people are going to want to see his movie, to see what we were talking about, and it's just going to be a whole embarrassing process for him because his movie sucked, because I actually watched it last night, and I don't really see the point of the whole movie.
Is that because of the heavy metal?
Yeah, I couldn't really understand what he was saying. In fact, I might press charges against that film, because I'm pretty sure that is illegal in some states.
Yeah, it sounds like that, doesn't it? Anyway.
Anyway,
so I've done that wrong,
just to
and
confirm,
he's wrong. And
the
that.
Extra Reach has not done anything wrong, and it would be a huge waste of time to press charges because I would be representing them, and unfortunately, Mr. needs to look up the laws of his own country.
Thank you, Mr. Derek Darbinson, and that.
Okay, so you two finished in here now?
Yeah, I think we just about covered everything here.
Okay, fantastic. So, Derek, you know the way out, and Lance, I suppose, will see you later on after the show is over.
Yes, you will see me later on.
Yeah, I'm actually quite late, actually. I've got to get a train at 3:15.
Oh, well, you better get your skates on, Derek. It's not an easy one out there. It's quite busy today.
Oh, shit. Oh. Quick, run. Get the briefcase. With the briefcase. Run.
All right, see you later, Derek. It's always good to have something reconfirmed by a professional.
Exactly. Derek is an outstanding lawyer, and it's just great to finally learn something new, especially when you think you know something about a topic, but you honestly don't.
Well, what just drives my patience is where idiots just make up laws.
Exactly. Like, research. Read a book.
Yeah.
The
like,
man had pages of books with him.
Anyone can make up a law.
Exactly.
There should be a law on that stupid movie.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, we've called it out. It's out there for criticism. You can criticize our podcast. We don't give a shit, you know.
No, I personally love criticism.
Exactly. I think criticism is phenomenal because you shouldn't like everything.
Yeah, I completely agree, though. I prefer criticism.
Exactly. I really like criticism.
I love it. I can't get enough. Sometimes I like too much criticism.
I just like going home at night, sort of 8 p.m. evening time. I'll run a bath of criticism and just thrive in it.
I love just swimming in it.
Yeah.
Just open oceans of criticism. Just swimming in it. Criticism.
So, I think the other topic we need to address is what we are going to do about the supposed banned episode of Reicher podcast. It only took 5 episodes to get an episode pulled by Clockreicher German.
Well, I think we should quickly have a word with Clockreicher and just confirm if we can or cannot use that episode again. But I've got a feeling he's going to give us the okay on it and allow us to re-upload it with a premiere.
Well, exactly. I mean, I think Derek's word of mouth and his knowledge on the law has definitely been helpful. And obviously, you know, Clockreicher he's a very cautious man. And, you know, I just feel that he was trying to stay on the right side of the law when we already were on the right side of the law. But I did burn the episode to a disc.
Brilliant.
So
I'll be watching that later.
We'll be watching that later, so that'll sit in the archive until we do premiere it on the channel.
Oh, there's something just coming through on the earpiece.
Oh, what's that?
Yeah, our executive producer just said that we're going to be premiering the episode 5 podcast in the next 24 hours. So everyone, stay tuned for that.
Fantastic. I didn't think it would be so soon.
Yeah, I thought that exactly. It's one of our favourite podcasts. I think.
Has Clockreicher cleared it for being aired on the channel? Fan favourite. Wow.
Yeah, all of our many fans, have been really annoyed because their favourite podcast has been removed.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to not only regain some fans with the re-upload of that cast, but perhaps we'll find some new ones as well.
Well, what actually happened is all of our many fans took to the internet and they were just outraged. They didn't care about the recent events of the world, the recent politics going on. They were just enraged that their favourite podcast was removed due to one yokel.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean, you know, he seemed very angry about it, and that's understandable. But genuinely,
Is it?
I don't know. Should we give it a re-listen?
Yeah.
Right. Well, what we'll do is we'll just cut here. We're gonna re-listen to the cast, and we'll feedback our thoughts on what we've said. So,
Meantime, here's the weather with Gareth Archer. Thank you.
Hi guys, Gareth here, and welcome back to another Dino Plonk weather prediction. Now, what we're going to be doing is telling you the weather in and around Bavaria. That's right, we are doing the same thing as we did in the last podcast. So if you have any kind of interest in the weather in Bavaria, then stick around. If you do not live in Bavaria, then don't bother. Go to another weather channel. Go to another weather channel where they are telling you the weather predictions about the weather in your area as opposed to this, because you won't necessarily find anything useful in this weather prediction that I'm about to say. However, if you do have family in Bavaria, by all means stick around if you want to, but I'm not forcing you to. That is what essentially, you know, I don't want to be doing, is forcing people into watching the weather. I don't essentially want to be forcing people in, say, County Durham to watch the weather in Bavaria, because it won't be relevant to them. But of course it will be relevant to them if they do have family or if they plan to travel to Bavaria. So with that out the way, I'll just plug my channel really quickly. Plonker88 on YouTube. That's right, you can check me out on YouTube if you want to do that. If you don't want to do that, then don't bother. Don't bother, as much as don't bother if you are not in Bavaria. Don't listen to this weather forecast if you're not in Bavaria. Okay, right. The weather. Time for the weather. It has been a very sunny week, but that is irrelevant because I'm talking about the week ahead. Now, anyway, Nuremberg. Very sunny indeed. And that will be followed by showers in Nuremberg over the next couple of days. Down in Ingolstadt, we have a little bit of sun, but then again, we will be blessed with some much needed showers towards the end of the week. Down in Munich, it's very sunny. Sun. I do like the sun, but again, we are shat on again by the rain, which will be coming in this time all the way from Lithuania, essentially. And then you might be wondering, Gareth, how does it come all the way from Lithuania? Well, what it does is it flies over Poland. I don't really know how that works in terms of gravity, but it flies over Poland and right into the heart of Bavaria, affecting nothing other than Bavaria. Anyway, that was the weather with me, Gareth Archer. Thank you very much.
Oh, God.
Oh, he's such a good weatherman.
I think... Oh, no.
Oh, and speaking of things that are good, that podcast.
Yeah, it was a great podcast.
I enjoyed re-listening to that particular episode.
Yeah, I can't see why he saw any offence in what we said. I mean, it was all constructive. He's clearly just butthurt because our podcast probably got more views than his movie, which is tragic.
The thing is, like, I can understand someone putting a lot of effort into something, but I don't see how we're at fault just because the thing that he's made is, in our opinion, bad. Like, we didn't really say anything other than criticizing the film and saying these people looked like this or he looks a bit like this. We didn't actually say anything to slander his name as a person.
Yeah.
We sort of compared him to things.
Yeah, I guess he's just butthurt because he's receiving criticism for the first ever time in his life, which is a bit pathetic. So he doesn't know how to handle it.
And he criticises our show on his. I mean, to be honest, it's not as though we even put any effort into this. We can clearly string a sentence together.
Unlike you yoke.
I mean, if you're really going to criticise our podcast and call it shit, it is shit. I'm going to sit here now for the remaining time, and I'm just going to eat this.
I've just been on my phone for the past half an hour.
Yeah. So, shall we wrap things up there?
Yeah, let's wrap things up there. Next time, I mean, Anita was supposed to be coming on today. She's a bit annoyed because obviously
we've wasted €350 now trying to get her to come in today as well.
Yeah, so we've got to pay a double now, which is money we don't have to spare, to be honest. But she's coming in next week, where Eugene Johnson, she will be psychoanalyzing you. So see you next week.
Stay tuned.